This is Paul Turner, the Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers, bringing you the latest immigration news as it happens. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Home Office coronavirus update, new rules for those that are in the United Kingdom, either on temporary or permanent visas. The Home Office is still expecting everyone to either leave the United Kingdom immediately or try to, or to make an application to regularise their status as soon as possible. I would advise anyone whose visa is coming to an end or whose visa has ended who want to get in touch with me as soon as possible so that we can make an application and hopefully get your status. The reason for this is the quicker that you act, the better it looks in respect to the Home Office, and the better the chances you have before a first-tier judge if you have to go for an appeal. There is nothing the Home Office like to jump on in my experience, or a judge likes to focus on if they are negatively minded, than delay. They don't like it. So if you are in a position where you can't go home, it's a good idea to make an application, and please get in touch with me. However, if you cannot leave and you have a visa that expires between the 1st of January 2021 and 28th of February 2021, you may request additional time to stay, and this is called exceptional assurance. I'm going to talk a bit more about it because it's a strange thing in itself. Please feel free, as I say, to contact me to help you get this exceptional assurance. It is highly relevant and may be vital as to whether you can stay in the United Kingdom. There is a little warning here. Even if you've applied for exceptional assurance in the past, you're going to need to apply for it again. So it's a form of renewal. I cannot stress the importance of applying, as if you do not, you could be treated as an overstayer at some point in the future, which could be vital to any new application. The Home Office like to refuse applications just because you don't have leave to be here. So it's something that you can avoid. The positive news is that while you're on exceptional assurance, you will continue to enjoy the same status as your current or your expired visa. So you will have the right to work and right to rent, etc. And you won't be treated as an overstayer or subject to the hostile environment. Strangely, however, exception assurance does not grant you leave to remain under Section 3C of the 1971 Act. So it's a strange sort of no man's land, if you like. However, if you are coming up to 10 years residence in the United Kingdom and some of it is made up of exceptional assurance, I would think that you should qualify for indefinite leave to remain because you will have been here lawfully, but this will need professional help and consideration. So if you have come up to your 10 years or you're coming up to your 10 years and your visa has expired or is going to expire, please get in touch with me because exception assurance is outside the immigration rules and the Home Office will want evidence that you couldn't go home. And a mere assertion that you couldn't find a ticket might not be enough. Professional help is definitely needed. The Home Office is going to continue to allow people to make applications in country when you would normally be expected to return to your home country. So that's positive. Also positive is that if you've overstayed from the 24th of January 2020 till the 31st of August 2020, then this will not be held against you. But you must make an application as soon as possible, or again leave or try to leave the United Kingdom. The fact that the Home Office aren't going to be holding periods of overstaying against people is a big positive step and something very unusual. Turning to more prosaic matters, application service centres in the UK are open and immigration and visa services are considered an essential service, so you can still travel to attend your appointment and enrol your biometrics despite the lockdown or whatever type of lockdown you have. If you're a tier 1 entrepreneur and your business has been disrupted, you no longer need to employ at least 2 people for 12 consecutive months. The 12-month period you're required to employ someone for can be made up of multiple jobs across different months, but this must be the equivalent to 2 full-time jobs. If you have a start-up visa and it's been disrupted, you can apply for an additional 12 months leave to remain. Now, this is a positive step if you're trying to start up a visa or start up a business rather in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, because it will allow your startup visa to go beyond the normal 2 years, and you can continue developing your business against your agreed business plan. If you've applied for a student or child student or tier 2 visa, so as a worker, and you're waiting for a decision on your application, you are allowed to start your course, studies and work before your application has been decided. Though what I would say is that the application has to be made properly, because if it is refused, you will cease to lose that right. The government is allowing healthcare workers to extend their visas. Some indeed are entitled to a free extension. Please contact me for details. Perhaps unsurprising, the government will not be expecting NHS workers and their families to pay the immigration health surcharge, which in my view would be outrageous if they were expected to pay it. So the government has conceded that point. You're also able, if you're involved in the NHS, to work at any NHS hospital, and I'm sure there's plenty of work, and your sponsor doesn't need to notify the Home Office, so that's something more relaxed. Interestingly, you are allowed to carry out supplementary work of any nature at any skill level or during this particular period. So if you are working for the NHS part-time and there aren't any more hours, but you have another offer of a job, you can do it, even if it's not within the health service. Additionally, volunteers can work for as many hours as they want, and the government has extended the deadline for pre-registration nurses and midwives on the temporary register to sit the OSCE exam. And lastly, and perhaps most unsurprisingly, if you're working on COVID research, you may well be able to apply for a global talent visa. So in short, the Home Office wants people to leave, ideally given Priti Patel's statements, or prove they cannot leave and make an application. And my advice is that the application needs to be made as soon as possible. At the moment, it's probably the best time to make an application, given these concessions that periods of overstaying won't be held against you, given that they are usually fatal to people who are seeking to extend their leave or apply for a new grant of leave or are looking for indefinite leave to remain. So this is, as it were, the latest February update on COVID and the immigration system. I will continue to update you as and when new information comes out. This information is current as of the beginning of February. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been of some use to you. Exception assurance is something that is going to take on a greater significance, I think, in the future. So please do apply for it. And if you have any questions, please contact me. Thank you very much for watching this video. This is Paul Turner, the Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers.